Come all ye young rebels, and list while I sing. For love of one's country is a terrible thing. It banishes fear with the speed of a flame. It makes us all part in the patriot game.
When they reached the outskirts of Donabate, they pulled off the road into a well-treed area, and Emmett finally heard the leader, Charlie Weston, introduce himself. Weston pointed out two of his own men. "You two are going to take the pickaxe and sledge and burst in the door." He looked then at Emmett's group. "I need another strong lad to take the crowbar and help with that." Seamus stepped forward before anyone else could speak. "I'm your man, sir." Ned nodded his agreement and then looked back to Weston. "Have you a crowbar with you?" "We do. We'll want two more to go along and rush the door. It'll be a pig to get it open, and speed will be of the essence." Kevin and another man were assigned. Weston himself would lead the charge. Weston took a stick and used it to draw in the soft earth under the trees. "Now we want 3 men here and 3 there." Weston pointed out men and told them where he wanted them. Emmett was to stay close to his father and be ready to charge in through the open door. It was possible he'd be needed to help stand guard of prisoners. They remounted the bicycles and drew closer to the barracks. When the grey 2-story rectangular building was in sight, they left their bicycles and slowly crept closer, using trees and bushes to cover their advance as far as they could. The barracks was silent. Emmett kept staring at the rows of windows on the main and second floor, like so many blank staring eyes. Weston held up his hand as he studied the building surrounded by the whitewashed stone wall. A police bicycle rested against the wall near the open gate. Emmett's teeth were chattering, and he clenched his jaw to still them. Suddenly, Weston's arm dropped. "Go!" The 6 men rushed through the gate up to the door. Emmett heard Weston shout, "On behalf of the Irish Republic, surrender now or we'll break down the door." The air cracked with a volley of gunshot exploding from a top-floor window. Emmett's ears were blasted by the answering fire from the men around him who had shotguns. He clapped his hands over his ears and watched as the window shattered, raining glass and splinters down on the men below. The 6 men at the door fought to break it down. The hammering of the sledge against the thick timber boomed. Emmett heard a jumble of words as the men at the door shouted to each other. "Here, throw it here!" and "Get the prize in here!" "Now, lads, give it all you got!" Emmett glanced over to his father, who had risen to a crouch as he kept his shotgun trained on the building. Emmett looked back to the men working at the door, so he didn't notice as the shooter on the top floor changed his angle and let loose with a hail of bullets. He gasped as his father stood and returned the fire, but the shot went wild, thudding into the wall between windows, sending flakes and chips of brick and mortar flying. Surprised at the miss, Emmett turned his head to see if his father would try again. He heard his own voice shriek, high with shock, "Da!" His father lay on his back. His face was already chalky as the blood seeped through his jacket. Emmett vomited, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand as he crabbed his way across the few feet separating them. "Da!"
country bold. He fought for Ireland, and Ireland only. The harp and shamrock, green, white and